Okay, guys, with this part of the video, this may be part two, because I didn't want to make the video super long. But if you got a chance to watch me harvest, a lot of that, like my basil, of course, it's been there since it was time to plant basil, like springtime. As well as the cucumbers were my latest. Those are my second round of cucumbers. That was the first cucumber off the second round that I did plant. I did harvest. Someone may be asking why you never see me do a lot of harvesting. It's not that I don't harvest, but because I'm only planting for two. When I go out and check my garden, I don't always have my camera, and I go ahead and harvest what I see. For a family of 5, someone that planted a lot of stuff, you're going to always see them harvest a lot. I don't plant a big variety of things such as, like, I've never planted the eggplant, something I'm going to try to do today. I've never did the kohlrabi, something I'm going to also try. And each one of them, I'm only going to try like one variety, one of each. And the bok choy is something that's new. I did try to plant that. I did plant that. But most of the stuff that you've seen trying to grow in my garden, it was probably either a second round or something I needed to retry because I probably didn't have success the first time. And a lot of my success come with the rain here. And you hear me talk about water a lot, because here in my area in Central Texas, we have not been having a great amount of rain during the summer. And my goal is not to really have a summer garden until I have a better watering system. And I am in a temporary building, meaning I'm not owning my home, so I can't just go and do some extravagant stuff. I do work with what I have. My target gardening time is fall and spring. A lot of times it's because I don't have to do so much of the watering myself, because we do get a decent amount of rain to help me out during that time. I'm not going to tell you we don't go through a slight dry spell where we probably won't get rain for a week or two, but it's not so hot. So it's a little easier for me to go in and do it maybe instead of every day, because it's a little cooler. I can do it once a week or twice a week versus every day. In the summer, it is so hot. And if you watch my summer journey, I had a lot of things struggling. I couldn't keep up. I was doing the best I could under the circumstances with the project bills, with trying to water what was growing. I did very well with my cherry tomatoes. They did wonderful. I cannot complain. The corn, second round, still didn't do much. The second round was doing a lot better, but it got to a certain point. It could have been just extreme heat, because we've been under extreme heat advisory a lot here. It got to a certain point, and it wasn't that it wasn't getting fed or it wasn't getting any amendments added to it by being in a raised bed. I could tell you, the heat here is something else if you don't have the correct watering system. And again, if you followed my journey up until now and seen previous videos, you will go back and see where I built my little water catchment system, the gutter system, my tower to help my tote fill up better. But and fast forward to present day, just that little rain on how much difference it made in the garden. Water is a necessity, and I advise anyone that do not have a good watering system, before you start, work on that first, because it's going to be crucial to your garden. If you ever watch anyone that does off-grid, they're so worried about having their water, their well done first, because that's crucial to what they're trying to do and how they're trying to live. But that's the same way with your garden. A lot of these things that I hit in the process of, not before. So I had to learn what was going to work for me. I thought I can hand water, but it's not that easy and it's not that simple. But again, too much water can hurt it as well. So, and those of you that get a lot of water, you know that. So with your garden, you kind of have to have a balance, you know. It have to go without some days of rain or watering, as well as days of watering. So I'm hoping that by this time next year, which going through the summer months, that I'm perfectly set up for that dry spell. I do plan on having a second or maybe a third tote. And my goal is to make sure whatever watering system I will have, if I'm still in this location, and I'm still gardening, of course, if I'm not at the scale I'm at now, even if it's a patio garden, that's what I will break down to. But I really don't have a big porch to say I can just successfully, I can grow something, but probably not the things I would want to grow, and I will have to scale it back. But again, my goal is to have at least 3 catchment systems. So when we get through that drought in Texas, that I don't have an issue, at least with being able to water my plants. But you will see as my journey continue, I have still a lot of projects that I want to do just in the area that I'm in, because I think it would assist me with some of the things that I want to grow in the future. As well as you will see me being able to harvest more of my fall and my spring stuff. I've never had super big issues like with my fall stuff. I did run into some trouble with, I guess, grub worms, and I guess you could say the little green cabbage worms or whatever. So, and once I realized that, I quickly just improvised, and that wasn't that hard. But at the time, I wasn't growing a super lot, but that was my first experience with losing something to either one of those. The grub worms, I'm not gonna lie, it made me want an elevated garden bed. I do not do bugs. I do not do the little green things either. No bugs. But some things I have got better as tolerating, or maybe be able to push off or something like that. I just can't stomach squishing anything. So, again, I will be doing some planting. I have a couple of markers here that I didn't plant yesterday that I'm going to start. I'm probably going to go out there after I cool off and have my coffee. I'm going to probably plant this. And this is probably about 10 different things, 8 to 10. And I'm going to give them a home. And I'm going to actually plant these by seed. So I may say start in the house, but I'm going to try, because if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it now over these next 3 days, definitely, because I know it's going to be warmer, and that can help the germination period. I do have my Tiny Tims planted inside as well, the ones I said yesterday I was going to do. So I have 1, 2... I know I have 2 of those planted, and I have something else planted. I can't remember. Oh gosh, but and I did plant the one in the bucket, in the pink thing. I got 2 planted in one of those, because if you notice that it had the double size. So I'm really wanting to see how that go. I also want to see. I do know I planted some in 2 beds. And I want to see how those go. So I'm kind of like experimenting. I want to see, and that's something that you will see me do from time to time. It may not be conventional, but I do like to test the waters if I can, because with us being here in Texas, at least for me, I find you just don't know what's going to grow right for you or not. Even though you're in Zone 8B, sometimes things just don't work out. You know, the corn should have took off. And I just really think that was because of the watering system. But, yeah, so we'll see how that goes. Maybe next season I probably would just do some 5-gallon buckets and just go from there. I'm kind of like over that next year will be the last time I attempt corn. If it doesn't grow for me, I'm just going to be like, forget it. And hopefully I should have better success because I should have water. Yeah. But if you have any questions, if you're part of the Seed Exchange Club or group, you can hit me a message if it's something that you're looking for. If I have it, I will give it to you. Send you some. I'm not going to allow myself to be bone dry, but I will, send like the first 1 or 2 people that ask for a particular variety. I will try to share seeds with you because some things I know I haven't probably planted, and some things, and some of you guys are getting the seeds before I even use them, and that's okay. If you really, really enjoy growing them and you couldn't find them, I don't mind sharing. Just let me know. At this point, I really can't think about something that I've been looking for. And if I do, I will hit it up in the group and let you know. But this was more of a motivational talk. A talk for the beginners and for the experts or those that's following my journey. And one thing we all have to remember, we're YouTube creators, and a lot of us on here just to share our journey. We're not here to outdo anyone. This is a garden family, a garden community, and my goal is to just have success in my garden, create projects that will help me in my garden. And if the projects that I am making or creating help you, feel free, of course. This is the time to help each other grow. My way may not be someone else's way. They may not like it. They may watch and say, oh, I don't know about that. And that's okay. But again, this is my journey, and that's the purpose of me creating content, is because it's my journey. I want to document it. One day my kids and grandkids and friends and whomever may want to say, hey, let me see, how did she go about doing this? And it may work for them. My way may not. Maybe someone else's way will. And when I watch other creators, I look and say, number 1, support. Number 2, I want to see what they're doing and how are they doing it. Is it something that I can implement in my garden space? Will it help me? Will it not help me? But if it won't help me, it won't help me. It's not necessarily saying it's wrong or it's right. It's just saying, okay, you know what? Let me try that. Let me see if it'll work in my area or where I'm at. If I'm able to create that to help ease whatever garden troubles I may be having or prevent whatever garden troubles I'm having. So it's about sharing knowledge. Someone else is just starting today. Someone is going through the YouTube channels, seeing what can help them and what can't help them. One thing I can tell you that I've learned is... hold on, these glasses crazy. Is to focus on what I'm trying to do, focus on my purpose, on why I'm gardening and who I'm gardening for. I'm not I'm not afraid to try something once or maybe even twice, but I do know when it's just not for me, and it's going to be some things that we attempt to grow that's just not for us, whether it's your location, whether it's your soil, whether it's your watering system, whether it's your you getting too much water in an area and you say, hey, this just will not survive in my rainforest, just try not to knock someone that's just starting out or maybe have been on a journey but still haven't had as much success as maybe you or some other people. Everybody's situation is really different. And you're going to, like I said, you're going to have some people to watch this video and say, okay, I can relate to what she's saying. Or you're going to have some people say, whatever, she want pity. No, I don't want pity. It's not even about that, because again, it's my journey. And I've always been the type that I really didn't care what people didn't like about me or said about me, because I've always learned to step outside the box and do my own thing. Now, I do know how to follow, and I do learn a lot. I do listen. I may not implement or listen to every single thing someone tell me for it's tried out in action, but I do take bits and pieces here and there, and I may put them together because it's maybe bits and pieces that I can use from different people. I have my own mind, and if you're just starting out, you will find as well that some things you're just going to have to go out there and do. You cannot expect a YouTube gardener to hold your hand and take you through that your own journey, because this is your journey. I've always said I won't change that. I think that if you're just starting out, because I know my trial and error and some things that if I could do different, I probably would. But I didn't. And at the time, I didn't even know that much about even YouTube, looking at different people, that many, I just said, no, the garden world wasn't big for me then. Meaning I was just learning. I just searched up a few things and I found a few things. I didn't sit hours and hours and days to study different gardeners, different possibilities. So I kind of went out on my own for most of it. And maybe if I would just slow down just a little bit, I would have learned a few things that would have helped smoothen my ride. And I think what could have smoothed my ride the best is me having a great water system set up. But what it did do for me, it allowed me to bump my head in some areas to learn through my actions. You can't learn just by someone talking to you all the time. Sometimes you have to go and get hands in with it and see. I mean, they may say, oh, you can't grow this here, but you probably can. You may have to find a different way of doing it, but you have to be creative sometimes. Other than my mustard green, like my greens, I'm saying mustard green, but greens period, I don't use a lot of seeds to grow some tomatoes. Trust me, I'm going to use 1, max 2 seeds. And if both of those seeds germinate, this girl here is going to split that up, and I'm going to have 2 plants. I'm not going to sit here and cascade my seeds. I'm just not. I'm not going to sit here and put 2 and 3 seeds in a pot. That's just how I do me. Again, I found out through my journey that if you have patience and you do it the right way, it'll germinate. I don't never have many germination issues. My issues, again, goes all the way back to that watering. If it's inside, it's fine. As soon as I put it outside, it do okay. Then if that heat crank up and it's causing me to do more and more watering to make sure that they're getting the water that they need and not being thirsty, I'm in trouble. And sometime when I notice I'm in trouble, what I do, I focus on what is surviving, what is my main goal. Yes, I would love to have harvest corn, to say I harvest corn. I can honestly tell you it's not a super must, but through my journey, at one point I do want to be able to say I harvest corn and get that technique down. And until I get that technique down, it's going to be one of them touchy feelings if I'm going to grow it again. I'm going to try it again for a 3rd time. And if it come up, it may not going to be like in one of my beds because I could have used that bed for something else. But again, I'm okay with it. So just, focus. And I would say learn as much as you can before you dive in. Don't say, oh, well, I've been studying all week. Trust me, sometimes it takes a little more than a week to get, and I think a good tip that I would share with you, and I'll share that with you in a few seconds. Give me a chance. I'm going to drink a little coffee and I'll be right back.